at those two.
Oh my god. They're really close to them.
Sorry, I had to point that out.
Cute.
Hey, this is Megan.
And Sue in the restricted section.
And today we are going to do our 5 least favorite books of 2017.
Yep.
And while we do this, we're going to be drinking this Fulton Street blend from Goose Island.
Yep, and it is a rich coffee flavor and aroma in a brilliant golden ale, it says. And where's Goose Island? Chicago, Illinois. All right, let's try it.
Here we go. That's interesting.
It's not bad.
I can taste the golden ale part of it.
It doesn't taste super coffee, I don't think.
It doesn't.
It mostly just tastes like a golden ale, I would say.
I would agree.
All right, so let's get into our losers for
Our big stinkers.
Yeah, these are the books we read that sucked the most this year.
The first 2 on my list are books that I just actually really didn't like, and then the next 3 are ones that were like really underwhelming. So the first one is Girl Factory by Jim Crusoe. I think that maybe I gave this 2 stars, which I feel like was maybe generous, but I feel like this book tried way too hard. But it was about this man, I've talked about it recently, it was this man who started working in an ice cream shop or a yogurt shop and realized that the owner was keeping dead, naked women in vats of yogurt in the basement because it stopped them from decaying or aging or whatever, and he was going to try to find a way to bring them back to life. And so it was kind of like Frankenstein-y, but it was real dumb. And there was a part about this like really smart dog who escaped from the pound, and like it was like a really random aside. I don't know, it was a really stupid book. I did not like it.
So the first book on my list is one that I kind of even forgot that I had read because it was so forgettable and just bland and uninteresting.
You can do it.
And that is The Radleys by Matt Haig. This is about a family who, you know, they're living the like suburbia perfect life or whatever, but they're trying to conceal the fact that they're vampires.
He just wants you.
And their 2 children actually don't even know that they're vampires. But they find out in this book, and like the first 60 pages of it were pretty good and pretty interesting, and I was like, oh yeah, I think this is going to be a good, fun book. And then it just like fell off, and I didn't give a shit about any of the characters or anything that was going on, and it was just like bland and not good.
The next on my list is Enter Wild Time by Paul Majors. And this one I feel like is based on Doctor Who, and I am not a Doctor Who fan, so maybe if I were, I would like it. But it was just a lot of weird for me. Yeah, I mean, they time traveled on a double-decker bus, and there was like, I don't know, these dogs, like these talking
Like dogs?
sentient dogs, but they were poodles and they were mean. I don't know. It was a weird, I didn't care for it. It was a lot of weird.
Alright, next on my list is probably my biggest disappointment of 2017, which is The Dispossessed by Ursula K Le Guin.
But.
Schmoofles.
But. He's kind of a sausage. He's a sausage in a casing.
So I was really excited to read some Ursula K Le Guin. I had read A Wizard of Earthsea, which is a fantasy novel that she wrote, the first in this fantasy series, and found that pretty underwhelming as well. But I thought, like, yo, she's really known for her sci-fi, so I'm gonna love this one. And I heard such great things. Like, anyone I'd ever heard talk about this just had only positive things to say about it. So I was really excited to read it and thought I was gonna love it because, like, everyone seems to love Ursula K Le Guin. Really disliked this one.
Aww.
It's about a man who he lives on a planet that is like a anarchist communist society. So there's no government to speak of, but everyone does their part, everyone shares and makes sure that
Shit gets done.
Everyone has what they need. And then he travels to this planet that is basically like Earth, it seems. And the part, at least, that he travels to is a capitalist government, and it was very preachy, I thought. Like, she wasn't very subtle with her message, and that often bothers me.
Same.
And also the main character, this dude, like, he was so boring. And for most of the book, I just didn't care about him, but by the end of the book, I flat out didn't like him. And I don't think that I was supposed to dislike him.
You think he was supposed to be a likable character?
I think so. I think I was supposed to be, like, rooting for him, and he does, like, do a good thing in the end and whatever, but I don't know. He just really got on my nerves. I didn't like him very much. The book, for the most part, was really boring to me, and yeah, like I said, it's just kind of like hitting you over the head with its message. And I have another book in here that does the same thing.
That's
and it really,
it's like assume that your reader is an intelligent person, and
yeah, so I wasn't into it. And I haven't given up on Ursula K Le Guin yet. I'm gonna try to read maybe The Lathe of Heaven some point soon.
I have that. I haven't read any Ursula K Le Guin yet, and I feel like I need to, just so I can, see what's up.
Yeah, so I might try The Lathe of Heaven yet, which I've also heard really great things about, but, I'm not going in it with super high expectations, because I heard great things about this one too, and I fucking hated it, so.
Next on my list is Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. I read this for a part of The Toil and Trouble of God. I have seen this movie like years and years ago, and I didn't really remember it very well. And I read the book, and it was just incredibly underwhelming. I mean, the characters were okay, but like I wasn't invested in them. I don't know, like I just didn't care. It just seemed really to me. And there was like a bunch of love shit in there, and like romantic shit. Yeah, no.
Romantic.
Kind of romantic. It is now. I made it one. I don't know. I didn't like it. It was dumb.
Next on my list is the book B is for Beer by Tom Robbins. And this is, it says a children's book for grown-ups, a grown-up book for children, so it's supposed to be for both. But, I mean, it's definitely written like a children's book. I just was so stupid. It was about, like, this little girl who gets visited by the beer fairy, and and her dad's, like, an alcoholic or something, and, like, I don't know, it was just, like, it was kind of depressing.
Oh.
It also seemed like not super appropriate for children. It wasn't very good. It was pretty disappointing. I love the cover though.
The cover is so cool.
Yeah, the cover looks super cool, so I might keep it just for that. And then there's this picture inside that's pretty cool too.
That's pretty neat. Next on my list is The Queue by Basma Abdel Aziz, and that was the book I borrowed from you.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
It was incredibly underwhelming. It's about this dystopian society where in order to make anything happen, you have to stand in this line at a gate where the top government whatever official will wait to hear your case basically. Mm-hmm. Well, the gate never opens. And it's exactly as boring as it sounds.
It's just people waiting in line.
Yeah. Like, I thought it would be more interesting and that there would be, some kind of cool subplot or twist or whatever. No.
No, nothing.
Pretty boring. Not a fan.
Well, next might be the most controversial one.
Oh, shit.
Unpopular opinion on my list. But that is The Kite Runner by Caleta.
Oh, shit.
And, this is one that I was really late to the game reading, and everybody seems to fucking love this book. It's like a modern classic, I feel.
I liked it.
I hated it. I just, flat out thought it was poorly written because it is very contrived. Things about the story don't even make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Everything's just too perfect. The story doesn't seem realistic to me at all. And there's at least one or 2 points where I was like, that wouldn't happen. And just everything comes together too, conveniently. And also, the villain in it is very, he's just evil and there's no reason for it. He's just like a psychopath. And he even like talks about how he loves Hitler at one point. It's like,
Jesus.
How obvious could you be about like, this guy's a bad guy. He loves Hitler.
Subtlety is not his thing, because even the foreshadowing is like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, the first several chapters, there's just painful amounts of obvious foreshadowing that was like getting on my nerves so much, where he's like, but that was the last winter that he and what's the kid's name? Hassan or something would enjoy, but like that he said something along those lines like multiple
at the end
times.
of every chapter, basically.
Yeah, in the first few chapters until this thing happened, which was like a terrible thing, but I was almost relieved at that point that it happened, because I was like, thank God the foreshadowing's over.
It's come to bear.
But then even later in the book, he like explains symbolism at some point, and it's like symbolism that was pretty obvious to begin with, but he's like, no, let me explain to you why this was so clever and important.
I got you.
And so it just, the whole book, I was just like, this is a fucking bad book. I think it's like emotionally manipulative, and I think that's why
I liked it. Like, I think I fell victim to that whole, and I've talked about this before, like, liking a book because you had an emotional response to it and thinking it's a good book are two very different things. And I think that I liked it because I had an emotional response to it, but I can't necessarily say that it was a good book.
Yeah. And I didn't even have much of an emotional response to it, because so much of the book was just annoying the shit out of me that I didn't, like, I think I maybe barely cried a little bit in this book. And I'm a crier. Like, I will fucking sob over nothing. I am a crier, and this book barely affected me because it was just like
frustrating.
It was frustrating because it was so just like him again, like beating you over the head with like, this is what I'm trying, like, let me explain to you exactly what I'm trying to do here. And I mean, I do think that perhaps this book did have some, importance, because there's a lot of prejudice against Middle Eastern people folks, that unfortunately is still an issue, but maybe this book helped dissipate some of that. At the same time, it's like the bad people in this book are also Middle Eastern, but I don't know. I just overall really disliked it, and I gave it 2 stars, but it's like, the more I think about it, the more it kind of pisses me off, and I would almost knock it down to 1 star, because it's just like, I think it pisses me off more because it's so revered, and I'm like, I don't think this is a good book. Like, I don't think it's well written, really. Right. I mean, it's not like horribly written, but it's like
the foreshadow, like, it's too obvious.
I don't get it.
Yeah, he doesn't trust the reader to like make connections.
Not only that it's obvious, but just that like the story was so contrived and so unbelievable to me.
Right. I just kind of fell in love with Hassan. Like, I really felt for him, and so I think like I had that emotional connection.
Yeah, I think Hassan was a good character.
I can't say that it's a good book, though. Like, and I think that's the difference. Like, I hate it when people equate, I liked this to,
this made me
this
cry,
is a good book. Like, because I liked this and this is a good book are two different things. True. What really bothers me is when people are like, judge you based on your taste in things because they don't like it. And it's like, well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. It just might not be for you. There's plenty of good things that I don't like.
Yeah. One of my other problems with it, I think, was that the main character, I didn't like him, and I never liked him. Like, I feel like he was supposed to have redeemed himself by the end, but
he didn't.
To me, I don't think he did, because he was still being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, throughout the book, and just being like such a dumbass too with his interactions with this kid, where he's like making promises that he doesn't know if he can keep yet.
Right.
And then I was just like, what the fuck is wrong?
No,
and
I
then
don't think he
doesn't I won't say anymore because I don't want to like give away the whole plot of the book, but there's like one point where he should have done something, like he was asked to do something and he should have done it, but he didn't until he found out something else about the situation that I think shouldn't have mattered.
No. I felt like because of who he was asked by, I don't think
who
that
it was for.
And I don't think that it shouldn't have mattered.
Right.
He shouldn't have mattered,
but he was, I don't know, I just didn't like him throughout the book.
No, he was a horrible
Even
person.
at the end, I was like, you're still a
No, he's a miserable
asshole.
human being. Yeah. No, I don't think he did redeem himself.
So, anyway, that's rant over the Kite Runner over.
Rant over.
That's it. I was gonna say sorry if it's your favorite book, but like,
Who
whatever.
cares?
If it's your favorite book, good for you, but I hated it.
That's the thing. I don't know why people get so worked up about that. Like, who cares? Like, if
Yeah.
some person on YouTube doesn't like your favorite book.
Yeah, people are dumb.
Because, like I said, liking it and it being good are two
Yeah.
different things.
True. I like plenty of shit that's probably terrible.
I've liked lots
Especially
of books.
movies. I have really shitty taste in movies.
Alright, so my last one is The Last Song of Orpheus by Robert Silverberg. And that was like a retelling of that tale. It was real boring. It was real boring, y'all. There was nothing special.
Yeah.
It was. I don't even remember reading it. Like, that's how not special it was.
All right, and my last one is another possibly controversial one, but it is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Yeah. Megan didn't even finish it. She DNF'd
I
it.
hated it.
Because you got about, what, 70 pages into it?
Yeah, and
I
hated
think
it.
that after 70 pages was when it actually picked up for me and I was kind of enjoying it. But for me, here's what I think would have made this a good book. H should have been the main character.
Yup.
Then the book would have been interesting.
Yup. But to me, like, I couldn't get past the whole, like, white dude bro bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
here's all the stuff that I know about this
that
nerdy
was really
shit.
annoying.
Yeah.
Because that's just like an annoying thing that I think people, especially like women,
Yeah.
deal with all the time in real life is like, oh, you like video games? Well, what's, like,
Tell me this really
Answer all
obscure
these-
fact about this
yeah.
video game from 1987 then.
right.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Just like, well, the things I know that you don't know, you're fake.
You're not even a real fan.
Girl,
You suck.
whatever. That was just really annoying. And then, yeah, it's just like, how many more stories do we need about white orphan boys?
No more stories. And the thing is, like, the concept was really cool. Like, the premise, I thought, was really cool. And then I started reading it, and I was like, Jesus. And I really liked it, like, at first, because there was a lot of, like, I mean, they quoted Ghostbusters on the first page.
Yeah.
But, like, fuck me.
Yeah, I just didn't like Wade as a character for
No.
the most part. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't the worst guy ever by any means, but it just seemed like I think it was Rebecca from T-Hags that described it as male-powered fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And I would agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like his crush on...
Yeah, his whole, like, obsession with Artemis kind of pissed me off because
Yeah.
it was kind of like if you just, like, keep hounding her and hounding
Right.
her and hounding her, she'll eventually give in and
She'll
be
eventually
with you.
love you. That's exhausting.
And, yeah, that's, like, the opposite of what most girls want.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
Just for any dudes out there, don't do that. If she says no, accept
her
it.
wishes.
Right.
I think Artemis was kind of an interesting character. But also that whole thing just bothered me too, where it was like, oh, look what a great
I'm
guy
not
Wade
like
is.
other girls.
Yeah, it was the whole I'm not like other girls thing, which, I mean, she didn't say that, but Wade said that, like,
Right.
she's not like other girls.
She's
And it's
not
like,
like
what's
other
wrong
girls.
with being like other girls?
Every girl is like other girls.
Yeah, in some way, every girl is like other girls.
Right.
That annoyed me, and also, I just feel like it was like, oh, look what a great guy Wade is for still loving her, even though she looks the way she does.
Dumb.
And the same with, like, H's character, what you learn about them, and then
Right.
Wade still being friends with them. It's like, oh, Wade's so great.
What a great guy for
Wade's
accepting
so
people for
great.
who they are.
So, yeah, that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way too.
Yeah, that's really
and I feel like H in a way was kind of a way for the author to be like, oh, let me throw in some diversity.
Yeah.
But also I do feel like H would have been a much more interesting main character than
Wade.
Yeah,
I agree.
much
I
more
would have liked the
interesting.
book a lot better if it would have been from that perspective.
Yeah, or maybe even from Artemis's
Yeah.
perspective, because it's like both of them had. I mean, not like Wade had an easy life. I mean, he was an orphan and he was in an
Right.
abusive household. But it's like, Harry Potter, anyone? Like, that story's already been
Right.
told.
Well,
you know?
and we read this for our book club, and, like, someone in our book club was like, well, that's just what the online world is like, and not everything has to be diverse. And I'm like, okay, but, like, here's the thing. We've had stories about white dudes by white dudes for so fucking long that, like, people are tired of them. I'm tired
And
of
even
them.
stories about white dudes by, I mean, like Harry Potter's by a woman.
Right, I'm
and even she
tired
wrote
of them.
about a white dude.
Like, I want to read something about, like, not a fucking white dude winning.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that happens all the time anyway. Like, I would like to read something different.
Right. Yeah, so that, I mean, oops, we went on a rant about Ready Player One also.
Whatever.
But yeah, that book just altogether just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Same.
And there was parts of it, and like we said, I think the concept was really cool.
It was super cool.
And I feel like I kind of want to watch the movie.
Me too.
Because I feel like it could be a really good movie.
Yeah.
But just the execution was not great.
Not
in
great
the book.
for me.
I don't feel like, and there was parts that were really cool. I thought and were really interesting, but overall, it was a miss for me.
Same. Also, it made me think that maybe the author is one of those, like, info dump douches. Because, like, the characters did that, and then also there were so many obscure 80s references in the book. It made me think that, like, if you met this dude, he would be one of those, like, info dump nerds.
Yeah, like, oh,
listen to but I don't fucking
no one
care.
fucking cares.
I don't fucking
But another thing that bothered me about it was the whole concept of this was, like, this man who is like, in order to, you know, win all my fortunes and stuff, you must learn every single thing about me.
Everything you liked.
Yeah, and I was like, how narcissistic does someone have to be to, like, force people to learn every minute thing about them? Because it wasn't even just like, here are all the things I like and I want to share them with you.
No.
It was like things about his personal life that you had to know too. So it wasn't just that.
Well, and it's my thing is, like, if you want to share the things you like with someone, it should be more of a voluntary thing.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry for the rants about the Kite Runner and Ready Player One.
we got a little ranty, but we do that.
This video might be pretty long.
Yeah, so this beer is mediocre at best.
It's still kind of underwhelming. I don't really catch much coffee in it.
There's, like, a kind of a coffee aftertaste, but it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not
okay.
a good coffee
I don't think
flavor.
It's bad.
No, it's not terrible, but it's not.
It's just
awesome.
It's just meh. It's kind of bitter. It's got a bitter.
Yeah, it's like mediocre at best.
Yeah. So, let us know.
What were your least
What
favorites?
were your least favorite reads? What did you think of our least favorite reads? Maybe don't tell.
I mean, if you disagree, that's totally fine. Just don't be an ass about it.
Yeah, true. I think I just squeaked somehow when I was laughing. I don't know how that happened.
Just squeaked.
It's like,
I sometimes snort.
I don't really snort, but
I sometimes snort.
apparently I squeak sometimes. So there'll be some links below where you can find us other places on the internet.
If you have not subscribed to the restricted section already, you should do it.
You should. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.